that in yoga. And this one doesn't have a lot of stuff from side to side, so it might be a shorter sequence. I have my lights on today because it's very rainy and gray, even though it's only like 4 o'clock in the afternoon today. I kind of record these ahead of time, but okay, I'm gonna take off my socks. Why don't you find a space that you're gonna feel comfortable and have enough space to lay down flat. But we're gonna start in child's pose, okay? Just got my notes here. And you can take child's pose into a chest opener, and we'll talk about how to do that, okay? So, before we do that, maybe we shouldn't do that. Just separate your knees. We're gonna go into child's pose first. You can have your arms be relaxed forward, head on the floor. Take a soft breath in, and a soft breath out. I think it's nap time because I'm pretty relaxed already. All right, so for our intention for the day, I'm just going to turn my head so you can hear me, but you can keep your head down. Our intention for the day is going to be awareness. And what I mean by that is we're going to start internally at the beginning of class, and then we're going to go to externally at the end of class. And it'll be kind of like a thought for you to take off the mat into the rest of the day. So just let's do some awareness of your own body, maybe noticing parts of your body that are tight, or maybe you're feeling jittery today, or maybe at this moment you're feeling a little tired, or maybe you're just relaxed and happy. It could be positive things too. And then maybe, noticing the emotional and the mental context of how you're feeling, but then maybe going into the physical, like we talked about, spots that are tight. Like right now I can feel maybe I need to work a little bit on my feet. We don't have a foot exercise or a foot focus, but that would be fun. So the intention is awareness, and just as we travel through your practice today of heart opener or chest opener, awareness of breath too, okay? All right, let's go ahead and start. Well, let me rewind. We're in child's pose. So if you wanted, this isn't what I count as one of my shoulder openers, but if you wanted to, you can lift your hips up and go into child's pose, and you can even extend that more by going onto your fingertips. And this could be a heart or chest opener within child's pose, or some people call it half puppy, okay? Let's come up to our hands and our knees and do some cat-cow. And as we arch our back like a cat, we're exhaling, breathing in, and this is a chest opener right here. And I'll show you a variation in a minute. And let's go back and forth. So we're arching like a cat, soft breath, reaching our chest forward, pulling the shoulder blades down the back, and the head comes up. If at any point it hurts in your lower spine, then try not to move so far through your range of motion, right? Yeah. Let's do one more. And come to neutral. Move one hand to the center, reach your hand up. You can put that same arm and leg out, and then let that arm open. And I'm calling this a variation of cat-cow, but it really isn't. It's another pose, but I'm just giving you an extra. This is definitely a chest opener, right? Really stretching those pectoralis muscles, the chest muscles on the arm that's extended back. And let's come back through the middle. Take that other opposite hand to the center, the other foot, and then let's go out. Oh, that feels good. This could also be considered a twist, but with the arm part, that's more of the chest opener. Okay, arms come down. So we're gonna go into downward dog, which is our second official pose in my practice. And depending on where you're tight and where you wanna focus, I did not count this as one of my chest opening poses, but you could count it if you wanted to. So let's move our hands a little bit more forward, curl the toes, and extend, trying to flatten out that spine in between your wrists, all the way to your hips. Let's go one heel down and the other. Man, I went hiking with my mom today and my calves are tight. For those of you who are wanting a little extra stretch, you can do this. You can lift your toes up while you do it. Ah! Gently walk your feet in. Bend your knees, roll up, take a big soft breath in as we come up. And down. So we're in mountain pose, but to make it a shoulder opener, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna scoot back off my mat next to the wall so that you can see my arms. We're going to interlace your fingers, maybe even make a pointer or just your palms together with your thumbs in a bind. And then we're going to lift our arms up and open our chest to the sky. This is mountain pose with a variation. Soft breath in. And breathe out. We're going to forward fold and go back into downward dog. So that was pose number 3. From downward dog, we're going to go into plank, lower our knees, and go all the way down. And from here, we're going to do half cobra. So we're going to keep our knees on the ground. I wrote up cobra, which would be all the way with your knees engaged and all the way from your toes, but I feel like that's pretty ambitious to start with. So let's roll our shoulder blades back. Bring your hands slightly forward and come up. If you feel any pain in your lower spine, lower down and make sure you're engaging in your belly. My elbows should be to my sides and my shoulders should be down. And let's come down from that. So that's baby cobra or up cobra. Up cobra would be all the way from the toes. Roll your shoulder blades back, eyes come up first. And let's just do baby cobra. If you're really feeling ambitious, you can do full cobra. But again, shoulders are down, stomach is engaged. I'm looking at my notes. All right, lay all the way down. Let's take a break. Tilt your head to one side. We'll take 2 breaths there. And remember which side, because after we do the next pose, then you're going to want to go to the other side. So like I have my left cheek down towards the ground. So just remember which way you're looking. All right, to get ready for bow pose, which is going to be our next one, bring your head to the center. Reach one hand back, and let's stretch out your quadriceps. So this is not counted as one of my poses, but man, this feels good. I have one other chest opener with a quadricep stretch. Virasana pose, that's what they call it in Sanskrit. And let's switch into the other side. Reaching back. And if you want a little extra, you can squeeze the gluteals together and have your tailbone be coming under. All right, release that foot. Bring the legs up, let them go side to side. Oh, that's a nice little massage on your quadriceps too. We like that. Okay. Feet are both up in the air and they are flexed. Okay, so it creates a little hook for our hands to go around. I'm going to come up, reach around with one hand, reach around with the other hand. This might be it for you. So you're trying to have a relaxed breath. If you're wanting to engage, try not to bring your knees apart. Shoot your heels up towards the ceiling. Eyes come up. And you can definitely feel how this is a chest opener. Let's try to do 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. And let's go to that opposite cheek that we did before and take a couple breaths here. Okay, let me check my notes while you wait for me. So, bow pose was our 5th. So I wanted to do something different. I was trying to figure out how to go into camel pose, which is our 7th. And I was going to do a chest opener, and then I thought, I love pigeons so much. We're going to do that, and then I'm going to show you how it can be a chest opener, okay? So let's go ahead and just come up to your hands and your knees. Bring one knee forward. Your back leg is going to slide out. If you need to grab a pillow, I'll give you a couple seconds. You can put it underneath that hip. Whew, I'm tight today. And then have that back leg with your knee down and your foot down. And then if you want to, you can go forward. Whew. Taking some soft breaths in and out. Now, I did not count this as one of my chest openers because we're obviously forward with our knee coming to our chest as opposed to going away. But if you wanted to take this into a chest opener, you can just watch by turning your head if you want to, or you can try it. We've done this one before where we come up, you reach with the same arm and leg, and then the other hand comes up. Or if you're really stretchy, which I am not, but you can take both hands up and over to grab your foot. Okay? Everybody come up to your hands underneath your shoulders. Let's switch sides. So I could have, if we wanted to do that other way of doing pigeon, had our pigeon be a chest opener, but that was just an option for today. So I'll give you time if you liked that one. Make sure your back knee is down, your toe is down, and let's lower down. Okay, if you want to do the opener part of it, you can. If you just want to stay down here and let your hips be stretched a little bit, that's fine. Next one we're going to go into will be camel. All right, go ahead and come up or release your foot. Let's come up to our knees and curl your toes under. So you can see my toes aren't flat. You could do it this way, but let's do it with our toes under today, okay? And we're going to come up and we're going to be focusing on the chest part. So if you can see me with my shirt, what I don't want to do is do that with my bottom to go out. You want to keep your hips flat so we're protecting that lower part of your spine, okay? So let's do it without going all the way to our feet so that you have an option. Take your hands all the way around to your hips, place them on your hips, and just lift your chest up. And try to keep a nice soft breath. Sometimes it's hard when you're a chest opener because there's like a pressure of the stretch on your chest to have a soft, even breath. And let's uncurl our toes when our head comes up and then just sit back and rest. We're going to do that one more time, and if you want to, I'll walk you through, we've done it before, walking your hands down the back of your legs to your heels, or you can just stay with your hands on your hips, okay? All right, coming up. Curl your toes, engage that tailbone down so that your belly is nice and flat, and that your back has a curve, but you're not releasing it. Take your chest up, and your head back with your arms. So we're not dropping our head, it's just a lift. And now you can either stay here, or you can slide one hand to your heels, other hand to your heels, and then lifting up. Again, not letting your head release all the way back, but maintaining that so that you don't hurt your neck. Now, if you're back with me, we're gonna come out of it slow. Take one hand up to your hip, other hand up to your hip. Everybody come up, breathing, and curl your toes and take a seat. So that was our 7th pose. That was camel pose. So now we're going to do a cross-legged variation, which is just really about our arms. So pick a leg to have in front, and as you can see, we went from standing to down on our belly to knees, and now we're progressing back down. So again, when you're thinking of designing your practice, you don't want to do like a pose on the ground, a pose standing up, a pose on the ground, unless it's through some kind of a sequence, okay? All right, so we have one leg crossed in front. We're going to be doing this with our hands behind our back. What? I'm going to give you some variations, okay? So I'm going to turn my back to you. And then we're going to bow forward too. So you have some options. Some of you have some pretty tight pecs. This might feel really good just to stay there. And you notice I have one hand underneath. For me, that's my left. So when we do the other side, you're going to want that. And then when we bow down, we're just going to go forward from that position, okay? If you're wanting to do something else, you're going to take your fingertips down, flip your fingers, and then lift your chest up. And let's everybody, regardless of where your hands are, lift your eyes up, lift your chin, try to open that chest before we bow forward. Now, we bow forward. Ooh, that's a stretch on my wrists. Soft breath in. Release your hands. I'm not looking at you, but hopefully you can see this. Lean back, switch your feet. And let's do the other side. Now, if you had your left arm underneath, do your right arm underneath. Maybe you want to try the prayer. You can do it with the hands down. Maybe you want to flip it and do your hands up. Regardless of where you are, chest lifted, eyes up towards the corner between the wall and the ceiling. Soft breath in. Soft breath out. And we're not going to bow this time, so just release your hands. We're going to bow here, so take your arms forward and just stretch. Awesome. Roll up. Okay, we have our last two poses. We're on number 9. So I wrote cow face, but I just thought we would do cross leg instead because I wasn't feeling that ambitious with my hips. But that would be an option that you could do for the one we just did. You could do cow face, which is where you stack your knees like this, but we just do cross leg. All right, so we're gonna do bridge pose, which is not wheel. So go ahead and recline on your back. Place your hands. And we'll show you how to make bridge pose an additional shoulder stretch. So you're laying down, your heels are close to your hips. We've done this one before. You're gonna start by peeling the bones off in the lower part of your spine, keeping your knees in the same position, they're not leaning out, and then lift it up. So technically this is a chest opener right here. Let's hold it for 5 breaths in and out. So you're still gonna feel some nice strengthening happening here in your thighs. That was only one. I'm on number 4. See if you can hold it with me. And 1 vertebrae. Okay, wherever you are, go ahead and turn your head. I'm going to show you how to do this next part, and then we'll do it together. We won't hold this one for 5 seconds, so. Depending on how flexible your shoulders are, you may have some options to do, but what we're aiming for eventually, that doesn't have to be today, is that your arms are interlaced, that your palms are together instead of separated, and that your elbows are straight. Okay, so watch it first. I'm going to go up into wheel, or not into wheel, to a bridge pose. I'm going to interlace my hands, and then I'm going to do a little walkie dance thing. So I'm actually on the outsides of my arms, and then I'm going to squeeze my palms together, and my knees are going to come together too. Okay? So if that's too much on your shoulders, just do regular bridge pose with your hands to your side. Okay? All right. Here we go. And curling from the bottom of our spine all the way up. Bring our hands underneath us together and then walking them to the outside of our hands and maybe pressing our palms together. Everybody bring your knees together. Try to have a soft breath. I can see my belly rising and falling from where I am. That's good. The chest has some compression, so you have to have your breath go somewhere. Be happy for our lungs. All right, and release your hands, rolling down and adjusting to make our back flat. Okay, so now, when you've done all that chest opening and arching, in yoga they highly recommend that you end with a gentle twist to let the spine go back forward, so it's not just in that arch position. So if you choose to do a chest opener, you might want to end with a gentle twist. So we're going to do that. We've done this one before. So this is my 10th pose, which is reclining twist, and it is not a chest opener. Okay, so and I'll go through the sequence when we're done. So put your arms in a T. Gently let your knees fall to one side. Look over the opposite shoulder. You know where we're headed. I brought us all the way down on our back before we're going to do Shavasana at the end. You know, you can always turn off the tape after I'm done and go back into Shavasana, right? Come back up to the middle. And have the knees go first to the opposite side. Head goes over your shoulder. Eyes come up first, top breath in. Let's move out to our Shavasana pose. So again, we've talked about this before. We've done a lot of chest opening, so your spine might be feeling sensitive. If it is, you can either use a pillow to put under your knees, or if you don't have that available or don't want to grab it, you can bend your knees, bring your feet up towards your hips, and then let your knees fall together. I like to have my palms up because then I'm not like having tactile input from my fingertips. So I like to flip my hands up. And let's make sure your shoulders are down your back. Soft breath in. And let's do some imagery today. I've been inspired by the clouds today, so we're going to do a little storytelling imagery. If you can, go ahead and close your eyes. Soft breath in and soft breath out. So let's start with a sky blue day in your mind. And let's do like a little cartoon version, so it's not going to be real version because we want it to go faster, right? Go ahead and envision a small, soft white cloud moving in. Soft breath in. Soft breath out. And then some of those pillow type ones with like the bumps on it, the gray on the edge that are pretty, are going to float into our vision as we take a soft breath in. Maybe even our breath out is like moving the clouds, right? This is our own cartoon, so we can do whatever we want to. It's anime yoga. Soft breath in. Soft breath out. And let's take in our mind's eye one of those great big tall clouds that are beautiful when it's so hot in the summer and you just want a little relief. Those tall ones that you know might, when they hit the mountains, turn in maybe to a thunderstorm that might cool everybody off. But it's not going to storm over us today. We're just going to notice it. As we take a soft breath in, as we breathe out, that big, huge cloud gently disperses, flattens, and disappears. And before we sit up, going back to our focus or intention for the day, which is awareness. So my challenge to you today, for the rest of this day, or if you're doing it at night the next day, is awareness of those around you. Maybe noticing something that your family needs, maybe emotionally or physically. An awareness of how other people are feeling in relationship to how you can be of service, right? I think sometimes we only know life from what we know, right? We are only in our own mind and we don't know what other people are thinking or feeling. But I think an awareness and sensitivity to things outside of ourselves can be a good way to make us feel better too. Last soft breath in. Open your eyes. Rotate to the side and let's come up to a sitting position. And I'll lead you through the notes like I usually do. So this is going to be the last one, as you get to see my belly button here, sorry. This is going to be the last one that I'm going to do in this setting up your own practice. So we set up our own practice. We did breathing today, starting in child's pose. Then our thought or intention for the day was awareness internally, and then awareness of others at the end. Our focus for the day was on chest opening right there. And we had at least 6 in our theme, and so I'll talk about that. Then we back to our breath, and the pose that we did for breathing was our Shavasana. And then we reflect on our intention, which was awareness again. So let me flip it around. Hello. Seems like it's easier for me to put this in here. So some of these, as usual, I changed. So when you set up your own intention, you're going to want to practice it, and then you're going to write the notes and maybe change it. So we started off in child's pose breathing, and then we did awareness, right? Noticing is what I wrote. Then we did cat cow, and we did it with the extra arm that reached towards the sky. Notice I have an X next to downward dog. Oh, by the way, just going back, remember I showed you how to do child's pose, which was kind of like half puppy, that you could make a chest opener. Downward dog has an X. It's not one of my poses, okay? Moving up, we have mountain pose with arm variations where we had our hands over our head and we were arching back. Then we went into the downward dog. Again, I didn't list it as one of the poses, but that was our transition to get all the way down to the ground to up cobra. And we did baby cobra instead of full up cobra. And then we did bow pose where we grabbed our ankles. And then because I love it, and I think it's my favorite pose, we did pigeon. But then I showed you how it could be one of the chest openers. And we had 3 poses that were not chest opening. So that's within the 6 requirement, okay? Then I had camel pose. And I wrote cow face, but remember I changed that to cross-legged with the arm variations behind the back for chest opening. Then we did bridge pose. Then we did reclining twist. Notice there's an X next to it, so it is not one of the chest openers. And then we went back to our breathing, which was in Shavasana, and went back to our intention, okay? So this is gonna be the last one in this series. So I think by the time that I post this, because sometimes I'm making things a couple weeks ahead of time, I think this should have, let's just go that way a little bit. I think this should have everything that you need for your home practice. So I think you were starting maybe to do your notes on the Friday before this class. I can't remember. But I do know that the next day, if you're going in sequence, like I have it on the Google Classroom, is that tomorrow, this would be a Tuesday, that tomorrow you will be doing and setting or practicing your home practice. And you can switch. I mean, 10 poses is pretty quick. And then you're going to be recording or teaching it to somebody. Well, not an or. You're going to be recording it either by yourself or recording it and doing it with a family member or family members, whatever. And then you'll submit your practice to me. Okay, so I'll have your notes and then I'll have your video. Okay, so if you have questions, let me know. Just write me an email and let me know what's the best way to communicate with you. And we'll be starting a whole new unit, but still intermixing regular practices. So we'll do at least Monday move-its and then a couple of practices a week so that you're still doing some yoga while you're doing some study in some other areas, okay? I hope you're having a good week. And if you made it this far, good job. Miss you guys. Bye.